Hi, welcome to this Yin Yoga practice. I'm Andrea and I'll be your guide. Set up your mat in somewhere that's distraction free. Maybe dim the lights and option to put on some relaxing music in the background. I recommend having a bolster, 2 yoga blocks, and at least 1 blanket for your practice to use as props. If you don't have a bolster, then maybe grab a firmer cushion from your sofa rather than a bed pillow. This will give you some more support. And we'll get started on our back. Grab your bolster or your cushion. And bring your knees over the top of your bolster. Get comfortable. And find a gentle opening for your hips. So allow your knees to rotate externally. And you can even bring the soles of your feet together up on the bolster if that feels okay to you in your hips. The point here is to really start to turn your attention inward. So just a very gentle opening in the hips, or even just a very comfortable Shavasana to begin our practice. Bring your hands to your sides, to your belly, to your heart. Close your eyes and take a deep inhale breath in through the nose. Fill up. And exhale, let it go. On your next inhale breath, fill up a little more deeply. Feel your ribcage expand. Exhale, empty out. Inhale through your nose. And this time seal your lips. And exhale through your nose. Find a gentle quality to your breath, establishing a rhythm that is unique to you. So tonight I want to talk about connection. The word yoga, its root word, means to yoke, to unite. So the point is, through the breath, to create this bridge between the body and the mind, connecting your physical, your mental, and even your emotional being, your spiritual body. Keep breathing here. Elongating your breath, finding a gentle quality. And making a connection within. Because once we can connect within ourselves, then we can feel more connected to others. And even though we are separated by a video screen, just keep in mind that we are all connected somehow, energetically. We are connected and we are beings of this universe. Begin to take a little more movement. Just go ahead and kick your bolster out of the way. Push it forward. And this time, if you haven't done so already, bring the soles of your feet together and your knees open wide. You can decide how close your feet are to your torso. They can be pushed forward, or you can bring them a little closer inward. We'll take some movement first. So I want you to just very slowly begin to draw your knees up toward each other. Press into the bottoms of your feet and press your low back into the mat. And really take your time. You may notice an engagement in the inner thighs here. To slowly make your way with knees coming together. And then go ahead and bring your knees open again. We call this a supine butterfly. In Yin, Yin has its own names for all of the shapes we take. All right, you're going to start drawing your knees toward each other again. And the reason why we renamed the shapes is because it's really important to focus on the intention of the pose, what you're feeling in the pose, rather than what you think the pose should look like. One more time, really slowly draw your knees in toward each other. Press your low back into the mat. Waking up those muscles in the inner thighs, the outer hips. And now, reach for your blocks. Come into that butterfly shape. So if your knees don't quite touch the mat, you might want to support with blocks under each knee or thigh. And then let's hold here in supine butterfly. Once again, close your eyes and draw inward. Maintaining a focus on your breath and finding the sensation of tension in your hips and your inner thighs. Something you can rate on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being you don't feel anything at all, and 10 being way too intense. So somewhere in between, we call that the Goldilocks position. And you might even notice I've put the blocks under my knees. I think I'm going to try it without and see if I can find a little bit more sensation. You might even try changing where your feet are, maybe pulling them a little bit closer into the body, or pushing your toes further down the mat. Remember, the soles of your feet, the bottoms of your feet are together. And the outside edges of your feet are resting on the mat. Continue to focus on your breath. And because we're holding in this shape for as long as we are, we're making changes beyond the muscle. We're getting into the denser tissue known as the fascia that runs throughout the muscle, but also is this really never-ending tissue. You can think of it as a 3D body stocking that has no beginning and no end. It runs throughout your muscles, but also ensheathes your organs, invades your joint capsules. And even though you may be feeling this most intensely in your hips and your inner thighs, you're really making changes throughout your body as you slow down and iron out all those wrinkles in the fascia. Keep breathing here. Feeling the support of the earth along your spine. Allow your shoulders to roll down and back. If you're like me, you've been doing a lot of sitting lately. So this sequence is designed to help open up the areas of the body that tend to get into some habitual positions and muscles get shortened, postures start to get a little rounded and slumped over, and some pain starts to grow. Take one more inhale breath here, fill up. And exhale, let it go. Again, bring your knees together. And this time we'll take some pelvic tilts. Inhale, feel the natural curvature of your lumbar spine as it has a slight lift off the mat. Exhale, press your low back into the mat. Feel your tailbone point upward toward the ceiling without lifting your hips. Inhale, back to neutral. And exhale, pelvic tilt. So that should feel like you're starting to stretch out the muscles of the low back. But we also want to become aware of this pelvic lumbar rhythm throughout our practice and throughout movement, even off our mat. Now draw your knees into your chest, hug them in, and then bring your hands over the tops of your knees. As you inhale, send your legs straight up, feet pressed toward the ceiling. You can gently bring your hands behind your legs. It might be a little hard to straighten your legs at first. So then go ahead and exhale, bring your knees into chest. And then inhale, lower your feet to the mat, just as we were in the pelvic tilts. But in addition to taking a pelvic tilt, I want you to lift your hips to bridge. Lower with control. Exhale the knees into chest. Inhale, send your legs straight up. Got a couple more like this. We need to take some movement after all the sitting throughout the day. And you'll notice that when we slow down and hold a pose, it will be very similar to what we were just taking in the movement. And one more. Lower the feet down, bridge, and lower. All right, grab a block. Lift your hips once again, just like we did in bridge, but slide a block under your sacrum. Bring it in horizontally and lower down. Now bring your right knee into your chest and then slide your left leg out long. So your heel is supported on the floor, and then interlace your fingers around your right shin. Hug it in. This is supine dragon. So we're getting a back bend here in the lumbar spine, but we're also opening up the left hip flexor and then getting a nice opening around the outer right hip as well. Now, if this causes any pain in your low back, you can always lower down and use a little bit of a lower lift, like a blanket, under your back. So it could look like this if you wanted to as well. But once we get the lift of the hips, we're also feeling a really nice opening through the hip flexor. And we need that from a lot of sitting. Let your shoulders relax down. And breathe. And just remember that idea of connection, the union in yoga is really such an important concept when we make a connection between body, mind, and spirit. And also knowing that we are all connected, and we are connected to the universe and a higher power. There's a quote that I really like that says, one of our goals should be to have our heartbeat match the heartbeat of nature. Take one more inhale breath here. Fill up. And exhale, let it go. Release your hands around the right leg and drop it down to the mat. Bend into your left leg so that you can lift your hips and lower on down. Come up to a seat, and we'll take half caterpillar with the same leg long. So you'll need your bolster for this. And come to sitting on your blanket so you can lift your hips slightly. So we bent the right leg. I want you to bend the right leg again and bring the sole of your right foot inside your left thigh. Your left leg is long. This is the one we're stretching out, the hamstrings, the back of the right leg for half caterpillar. Bring your bolster onto your lap and then start to fold over the bolster. Now you can bring a block on top of your bolster to help support your head and neck. Just be careful, be aware of how your low back is feeling once again. So we just took it from a back bend into a forward bend. And so if you need to be a little more gentle, a little less of a forward bend, you can always back off on this position. Just check in with how you're feeling. Again, rating the sensation on a scale of 0 to 10. And probably the most intense sensation you're feeling is in the back of your left leg, but you may feel it in your right outer hip. You may feel it in your low back. And make sure you release any tension from your head, neck, shoulders. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Start to scan your body. Notice if you're holding any tension in your jaw, between your brows, maybe in your belly. Notice if your hands are clenching. Just try to soften whatever may be tight. Send your breath there. Just keep breathing. Notice that it may be a little more difficult to take full breaths through the front side of your body because you're folded over. Start to bring your awareness into your back body. Fill up all the way into your low ribs. Notice how your breath has become a little more relaxed. Just by slowing down your body, your mind has started to slow down as well. Think about all the good you're doing for yourself to take time out of your day to make the connection between your physical body, your energetic body, all the layers of you, all the way into the core of you. When you make that connection, that's when you're able to connect to others. That's when you are reminded that there is more than just what's surrounding you physically. Take one more inhale breath here. Fill up. And exhale, let it go. Begin to rise up. Move your bolster out of the way. And shake out your legs. We call this rebounding. And I'm going to suggest we come back to laying on your mat and take that same movement that we did before we started the supine dragon. So bring your knees into your chest. Send your legs straight up. You might notice the difference between your left and your right hamstrings. One may feel a little more opened up here. Bring your knees into your chest and then set your feet on the mat, pelvic tilt, and lift to bridge pose. Lower, knees into chest, exhale, press all the air out, and inhale, legs straight up. Now I'm going to encourage you to do what feels best in your body. If you find that you are enjoying one movement more than the other, you want to just take pelvic tilts, that's perfectly okay. Last one. And feet come down. Find your block. As you come into bridge, slide your block in horizontally under your sacrum. And we'll take it to the second side for supine dragon. This time, bring your left knee into your chest, hug it in, interlace your fingers around your shin, and send your right leg out long. Keep your heel on the floor. If it's not quite coming to the floor, you can use your blanket to prop it up. And then if you're finding it difficult to bring your hands around your knee or your shin, bring your hand under your thigh. And hold here. Feel that opening through your right hip flexor this time. Maybe your left outer hip is involved. Close your eyes. Start to tune in. You are a three-dimensional being. You have a front and a back, a top and a bottom, and a left and right side. And when we take these shapes that just focus on one side of the body, the right or the left, it's a nice way of allowing ourselves to dial in the pose or how we need it on one particular side versus another. When we do both legs at the same time, sometimes the one that's tighter kind of takes over. Keep breathing here, noticing the quality of your breath. And anytime you find your mind wandering, try to do a body scan. Starting at the crown of your head and just working your way along your spine, all the way down your legs to your feet. And just checking in. Take one more inhale breath here, fill up. And exhale, let it go. Release the grasp around your left leg. Set it down on the mat. Bend into your right. Lift your hips and slowly lower down. We'll take half caterpillar on the second side. I want you to sit up on your blanket. When we lift the hips, it's better for forward folding because we can create a tilt to the bowl of the pelvis. Remember that pelvic tilt that we were doing? And when we tilt the bowl of the pelvis in a forward fold, we create more space in the low back as we fold. Always do what's best for you. All right, that same leg that was extended, the right leg, is now going to get the opening along the hamstrings. So bring the sole of your left foot into your inner right thigh and slide your bolster in for forward folding. All right, take your time here. Find the right amount of intensity for you. You might even turn your bolster up onto its tall side. Check in with your low back. And support your head and neck, either with a block or stacked fists. You might notice that it's a little bit more conducive to tuning in when we are forward folding, kind of drawing inward in our bodies in this shape. Allows us to tune out the outside distractions. Anytime you find your mind wandering, you can bring it back to focusing on your breath. You could even count the duration of your breath. Count the inhale and count the exhale. See if they match or if your exhale may be a bit longer than your inhale. On your next inhale breath, see if you can elongate that by 1. Just make it a little bit longer. And do the same thing on your exhale breath. Soften something. Really tune in. You might even be able to take it a little bit more into your forward fold at this point. Notice your thoughts. Use your breath as that bridge to connect your mind and your body. Taking it even deeper, connecting your mind, your body, and your spirit. We are not just our physical selves. We are not just our mental selves. And sometimes we can get caught up in just taking one of those things for granted. But when we make the effort to make a connection for our whole selves, then we can be our best selves for making connections with others, and remembering that we are connected to this greater world, this greater universe, beyond what we can see. Take one more inhale breath here, fill up. And exhale, release. Start to rise up. Bring your bolster over to the left side of your mat. Slide your blanket up to the top. And shake out your legs, take your rebound. Coming in onto our back, we'll start to roll onto your left side. I might be backwards on the video, so take whatever side you wish, because you'll always end up just doing the second side. Not a big deal. So you want your bolster, you're facing your bolster, and bring your blanket under your head for a little pillow. Reach your bottom arm out, nice and straight, and then bend into your top knee and bring your knee and your shin onto the bolster. Stack your arms, and we'll take a little dynamic movement here, twisting. On your inhale, lift your top arm up. Start to bring it all the way up to the ceiling and track your eye movement to your hand. So keep moving your head along with your hand, and then start to drop it behind you as far as it'll go. It may not touch the floor, that's okay. On your exhale, slowly bring it back toward your starting point. And stack your hands. Good. Let's keep doing that dynamic twist. Take it nice and easy and breathe. Let's take 3 more like that. Keep watching your hand as it moves. That will involve your cervical spine, your neck, along the rest of your spine in this twist. All right. On this next round, go ahead and keep your chest open and your hand and arm laying on the floor. So we're just going to just lay into this twist. Keep both shoulders supported on the mat. Really reach wide. Send energy out your fingertips. And breathe here. Now, if you're still feeling like that back hand and back shoulder aren't supported, you can always slide your blanket underneath your arm so that it's not hanging out in midair. Using your props to support your body is really important in Yin because we don't want any muscles to be involved in holding the body up if we can help it. Close your eyes, start to tune in. Feel that opening and broadening across the collarbones, across your chest. So enjoying this twist where you're creating space between your vertebrae. You're also getting an opening through your chest. Something that's really good for us when we tend to sit and roll around our shoulders forward throughout the day. Take one more inhale breath here. Fill up. Exhale, let it go. And slowly bring your hands back to stacking. You want to let the spine come back through neutral, nice and easy. You might enjoy some pelvic tilts here to neutralize and rebound. Listen to your body. Take your time. I'm going to switch sides just so you can see me demonstrate from the second side. But you don't have to switch sides. You can just switch your bolster to the other side of your mat. And let's go ahead and roll onto the other side. So this is my right side. It might be your left, and that's fine. Reach your bottom arm out. Stack your other hand on top and bring your top knee to the bolster. So your knee is at hip height and your entire shin is supported here. With your inhale breath, Start to lift that top hand. Watch your hand arch up, rainbow up toward the ceiling and over behind you. It might not touch the floor yet. We're just starting to get that movement going. Exhale back to your starting point. And inhale. And exhale. When you pair your breath with your movement, you can really tell what long, luxurious breaths you're able to take. With this slow, twisting movement. 2 more like this. And this next round, go ahead and keep your back hand down. Back of your hand is on the floor. The shoulder comes down. I'm going to remove my blanket out from underneath my head. And hold here. Now again, if this back shoulder or hand are floating, you can move that blanket to support your shoulder or the back of your hand. Really stretch out. I'm kind of running into the wall here, but stretch out as much as you can. Reach energy through your fingertips. Open up your chest to the ceiling. Breathe in. And breathe out. As you breathe in, bring in that prana, that life force. And as you breathe out, exhale your heart energy. Send it out to the universe. You can close your eyes here and tune into what you're feeling. Notice if this side feels a little different from the first side, whether you feel a little more spaciousness or a little less mobility. That's perfectly normal. Remember, we have a right and left side, a top and a bottom, a front and a back, but nothing is perfectly symmetrical in the body. Again, do a body scan starting with the crown of your head. And just moving your awareness down your spine, checking in to the sensations you're feeling. Maybe noticing where you feel the twist the most and what part of your spine. And take one more inhale breath, fill up. Exhale, let it go. And slowly begin to bring that back hand to stack. Bring your spine back to neutral. And slowly moving to your back. Again, I'm going to take some pelvic tilts here just to neutralize. This is where I felt the twist the most. It's more in my lumbar spine. And if you're near a wall, we're going to move into a supine swan. If you're not near a wall, you can certainly do this without a wall. I recommend putting your feet up on a bolster and then crossing your right knee on top of your right ankle on top of your left. So you can take it like this. We want to get into the right outer hip or glutes. You can also start to bring your knee in towards your body. But if you have the wall accessible, it's going to be an even more passive type of stretch. So just bring your feet to the wall with bent knees and cross that right ankle in front of the left knee. You might even want to fan your right knee towards the wall with your right hand. Just make sure you're not creating any sharp shooting pains in your knee. Again, make that connection. Use your breath as the bridge between your mind and your body. Flowing your breath in and out through your nostrils, creating a gentle quality to your breath. Keep bringing that life force in, sending your heart energy out into the universe, making that connection. Maybe even through your video screen. Hopefully you can feel my heart energy. Take one more inhale breath here. Fill up. And exhale, let it go. Now you might want to slide your left foot up so that you can create some room to unwind the right leg. Massage out your outer hip. If you're on the wall, just go ahead and switch sides. Bring your left ankle in front of your right knee. And again, you can take this without a wall as well. Bringing your right foot onto your bolster to lift it up. You could even bring it onto a block, or you can start to bring your knee in towards your chest. Create enough tension that you feel it in your left outer hip. And breathe here. As I mentioned before, that connective tissue that you are making changes in, you might feel it in your hips right now, but because it's this one continuous tissue that runs through your body, you may be feeling more relaxed and less tight in your intestinal tract. You may be lowering your blood pressure. You may find that you have benefits that include more energy, better sleep, less insomnia, maybe less headaches. The slow practice is so beneficial because we're always doing. Sometimes we just need to slow down and just be. Take one more inhale breath here, fill up. Exhale, let it go. Lower your right foot down or straighten it on the wall to unwind. And then join me on your mat. Start to set up for our final resting posture, Shavasana. So I'm going to prop up under my knees to create some support in my low back. And bring your arms down by your sides. Make sure you've got a good body temperature. So if you need to add warmth, like a jacket or a blanket or socks, do so now. Another thing that we want to keep in mind when we're practicing any yoga is that there's no reason to worry about whether you're doing the poses right because they're always changing. The body's always changing, and we are all different. We're made differently, so it's really about what we're feeling. And really, the one pose to master is Shavasana. So settle in here. Close your eyes. Release your attention to your breath now. Just sink in here. Make your bones heavy. Allow your muscles to melt away from your bones. Draw your awareness to your face, softening your lips, your tongue, your jaw, and the space between your brows. Giving yourself this gift of connection. You are welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as you wish. But if you're ready to begin a little movement, take a deep breath in, fill up. Feel your ribcage rise and expand as your lungs fill. And exhale. Breathing in that life force, remembering that we are all connected. Exhaling, sending your heart energy out into the universe. Start to bring some small movements back into your fingertips, your toes, your wrists, your ankles. Move your head from side to side. And then reach your arms overhead. Take a full body stretch. Bring your knees into your chest and roll onto your favorite side, fetal pose. Coming out of that pose of surrender, Shavasana, and into a pose of renewal. The goal of life is to make your heartbeat match the beat of the universe, to match your nature with nature. When you're ready, press up to a seat. Inhaling, reaching your arms up, palms meet overhead, and exhaling, bringing your hands to heart center. Pausing here, honoring your practice and honoring the practice of all the yogis in the world. Inhaling, thumbs to your third eye center, that space between your brows that is your connection to your inner wisdom, trusting that. Exhaling, we bow forward to seal our practice together. From my heart to yours, God bless. Namaste.